Chapter 7. Here we are. Mrs. Hardie's Revenge. "Why, Helen, what are you doing out at this hour?" asked Apple Mary, as a little girl who lived in the nearby tenement house came in late one evening. Mary had been dozing in a chair.
"Oh, Apple Mary,"
cried the child tearfully.
"Mama wants to know if you can come right away. Baby's awful sick."
"Why, of course I will, honey," said Apple Mary, already into her coat and putting on her hat. "I'm glad you came for me."
"Oh, I'm glad you're coming. Mama said you'd know what to do. Mama couldn't call the doctor and she can't buy any medicine because we haven't any money,"
explained Helen as they left together. Helen's mother met them at the door with the sick baby asleep in her arms.
"It was good of you to come," she said. "But the baby's better now. See, he's asleep." "Poor little fella. Sleeping's the best thing he can do. I think he'll be all right by morning."
Apple Mary slipped off her coat to help put the baby to bed, and she comforted his sobbing mother.
"I know it's silly to cry,"
sobbed the poor woman.
"but since I lost my job, the children haven't even had enough to eat."
There, don't cry," Apple Mary pleaded. "I've got plenty of money. You can have all you need." With that, Apple Mary, who had to scrimp and save herself, gave her unhappy friend a $10 bill she had brought along in case of an emergency. Mrs. Hardie waylaid her early the next day.
"I hear you gave $10 to Helen's mother last night. Seems to me you'd be more careful with your money."
"But I'm better off than they are. Why, they haven't enough to eat. And I can always make more money, Mrs. Hardie."
"But not much,"
sneered the landlady.
"since you had to move your apple cart."
"How did you know I had to move my apple cart to a new corner?" broke in Apple Mary. "I did not tell a soul around here. I didn't want Dennie to know."
"Why,
Mrs. Hardie stammered and turned quickly away. Mused Mary, climbing the stairs. Mrs. Hardie sure acted funny. And anyway, how did she know about it? Apple Mary became even more suspicious when she returned to the house later than usual, after a very poor day's business, and saw the man who had taken her corner just leaving. Mrs. Hardie waved after him in a friendly manner. What was he doing talking to Mrs. Hardie? She wondered. Say, what's going on here anyway? She soon found out. The following evening, Dennie read to her as she peeled apples for their supper. Just when the story was most exciting, Mrs. Hardie burst in.
"Apple Mary, I had an offer of $2 a week more for this room. So, if you can't pay it, you and Dennie will have to take the back room."
"But, Mrs. Hardie," objected Apple Mary. Mrs. Hardie, however, had turned on her heel and was gone. Anxiety lined Apple Mary's face.
She didn't even wait for an answer. Why, Dennie can't stay in that back room. There's no sunshine. I'll go tell her.
As the anxious woman opened the door, the voice of her landlady could be heard in the hallway below.
Remember, you were out of a job and broke when I staked you to that fruit stand and told you that Apple Mary's corner was the best in town. So don't forget, I get half the profits.
Scarcely willing to believe her own ears, Apple Mary stepped to the top of the stairs. From there, she could see Mrs. Hardie and the man who had stolen her corner talking together.
Yeah, but after you take half, there's not much left for me,
the man was saying.
Well, there'll be more if you'll do as I say and not let Apple Mary get wise.
Apple Mary waited until the man had gone, and then, sick at heart, she went down to talk with Mrs. Hardie.
There isn't enough sunshine for Dennie in the back room, and I can't pay more for the front one, she said. So what? Snapped the other woman. I don't want any hard feelings, but I heard you talking, and I think it better if we'd move.
Apple Mary began.
Oh, you do? Well, remember this. You are renting that room by the month, so you'll still owe me for the last 2 weeks of this one. But I haven't the money, said poor Apple Mary. My apple sales have fallen off so since I had to move to the new corner.
Mrs. Hardie would not listen to her pleas, however. When her tenant had left the next morning, Mrs. Hardie fell to scheming.
If Apple Mary makes any money, she'll move out. If she doesn't make any, she can't pay her rent. Either way, I'm the loser. But if I put her out now and keep her furniture...
Apple Mary found Dennie sitting on the sidewalk, crying. When she arrived home that night, "What are you doing out here, Dennie?" she asked.
I don't know, Grandma,
he wept.
Mrs. Hardie put me out when she saw you coming.
Mrs. Hardie, looking very smug, was watching from the window.
Now, see here, cried Apple Mary. You can't put us out like this.
Oh, can't I? Well, everyone for himself. You don't see me asking anybody for help.
With that, Mrs. Hardie reached up to slam the window in Apple Mary's face. But her one arm slipped, and in a twinkling, the window sash had descended on the mean woman's neck, pinning her head to the sill.
Ouch! Help! Do something, Apple Mary!
She shrieked. And that's the end of Chapter 7. I hope you'll join me next time for Chapter 8. A Merry Christmas. We'll see you next time.